You're on the final line and looks like an easy win, only to watch the cue ball drift and scratch. Or you attempted a brilliant 8 for an easy 9 and couldn't believe a scratch was possible. If that's you, I get it. I used to just guess and pray with my cue ball path too. To fix the scratch we saw earlier, let's break down the cue ball path into two parts and understand the rules behind it. Rule 1. Cue ball path when it hits the object ball. Rule 2. Cue ball path when it hits the rail. Let's start with Rule 1. First, let's look at the path of the cue ball immediately after it hits the object ball. This is where most of us start guessing. To understand this, we have to look at the tangent line. The tangent line is simply a line that is perpendicular 90 degrees to the path of the object ball. Here is the absolute rule. A cue ball with no forward or backward roll will always travel along this 90-degree tangent line. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it, if the ball is sliding or stunned at the moment of impact, it travels 90 degrees, period. But we don't always hit stun shots or center shots. What happens when we add spin or speed? When you hit a follow shot with top spin, the cue ball wants to go along the tangent line first. But because it has forward rotation, it quickly curves forward. Generally, a rolling cue ball deflects at about 30-degree angle from the object ball's path. Dr. Dave famously uses the peace sign fingers to visualize this 30-degree split. It's an awesome hack. Let's try it out. Perfect. It works. But there's a catch. If you're hitting it really thick and full, the path is narrower than 30 degrees. And if you're cutting the ball really thin, the path is wider than 30 again. This 30-degree hack works perfectly when your cut angle is around a standard half ball hit. So the peace sign works, but you have to know its limits. All follow shots obey the 30-degree path. But when there's speed at play, the ball first travels the tangent line, and then due to high forward spin, it continues its 30-degree path. Check this. Just shows that tangent line movement is always a certainty, and it can be made to change with speed. Now the reverse. When you use draw, the ball starts on the tangent line, but the backspin rips it backward. A good rule of thumb here is the 3x rule. For a good draw stroke, the angle the cue ball comes back is usually about 3 times the cut angle. Check it out here. Finally, you have to respect speed. At high speeds, the cue ball smashes along the tangent line first, then the spin grabs the cloth and it curves back. At low speeds or for a soft draw, the cue ball behaves like a stun, going in a tangent first, then because of some backward spin and friction of the cloth, it moves ever so slightly back. Let's see that again. Hope you followed everything till now. A quick recap here. If you hit center ball or stun shot, cue ball will follow 90-degree tangent line. If you hit follow shot, cue ball will deflect 30 degrees forward. And if you hit draw shot, cue ball will reverse 3 times the angle backward. Just physics, no guessing, so that you know the path of the cue ball better. Now let's review the 9 ball that we scratched in the beginning of the video and apply the rules we learned. We played it with the center ball hit. Let's figure the object line to the pocket and hence the tangent line. So now we know where the cue ball path will lead to. As you can see, it follows the rules. That's the first half of the story. Now let's see what happens when it hits the rail. Over to rule 2. The basic rule here is simple. Angle in equals angle out. If you hit the rail with a medium speed center ball, it bounces off at the exact same angle it came in. Think of it like a mirror. Let's look at it from another angle. And when I hit the object ball, the mirror principles holds true. See how the ball reacts after hitting the rail. For a brief period after hitting, the rotation on the ball is almost absent, just a thrust forward. And for a high-speed shot, the thrust from the rail is so violent that the cue ball is pushed back from the cushion almost perpendicular to it. Check out the slow-mo. But we can bend these rules with spin. In case of draw shot, the ball is spinning backwards against the rail. It shortens the rebound angle towards me. And in case of follow shot, since the ball is still rolling forward, when it hits the rail, it wants to keep climbing. This widens the angle. It runs long. Now let's go back to that nightmare scratch from the beginning. Even before getting down, let's apply the rules. Applying rule 1 to see the tangent line, and then rule 2 to see the angle in equals angle out. Oh my god. We literally aimed for the scratch without even knowing it. Now we know everything about cue ball path to avoid scratches. A medium speed draw pulls the cue ball back slightly, changing our contact point on the rail so we miss the scratch entirely. And a medium topspin shot reduces the angle from the rail, taking us safely away from the pocket. See, no guessing, just physics.
So next time you are on the table, you can visualize the path of the cue ball and choose if you want to bend it through spin or speed. Love hanging out with you. See you in the next one.